Welcome to the Mystery Box Podcast, where every episode is its own mystery. It could be a boat.
A boat's a boat, but the mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know how much we've wanted one of those?
Then let's just...
We'll take the box.
A box of chocolates.
Life was like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Or anything else for that matter.
What's in the box?
So let us open this box up and see what's inside. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Mystery Box Podcast. This episode, we delve into the world of DJing and the DJ nightlife. I just happen to have a couple of DJs here. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
Not much. Tell the people who you are and what you do.
I am DJ Rampage. I am one half of Restraining Order.
I'm the other half. I'm DJ Tech Romancer. I'm actually surprised you asked us and that Luke and them from Bad Catholics, because they're at Legends tonight.
I go for the cream of the crop here in Boone.
Damn.
So we'll start off with tell the people what got you into the world of being a DJ and how old were you when that first happened?
Well, I was about 16. I was hanging out with some people from some friend's house. He had a couple of turntables. It looked fun. It was a lot of heavy drums. So
2 turntables and a microphone.
Yeah, that was the extent. And then I just kind of picked it up from there. I'm so old I started using vinyl.
Vinyl's the good stuff, though.
Yes, and it's also very expensive.
For me, it came actually kind of later. Even though when I was younger, I followed a lot of DJ culture, like the early hip-hop scene, early techno scene. Yes, you probably know my age from talking about all of this right now. But
you look good for a 20-year-old.
Thank you. I do look good for a 20-year-old. But anyways, about around 2008, my ex at the time, she knew that I was always wanted to do something DJing and stuff like that. And it was like right when DJ controllers first came out. So she bought me a DJ controller, and the rabbit hole just goes down from there.
So how did y'all decide on your DJ name / personas? Like, how did that come about?
My current one was because I had the original one I had planned was copyrighted. So I was a really big fan of the Rampage game back in the day on, Xbox One and PS1.
Who was your main character? Who did you like?
I was actually Lizzie a lot.
Lizzie the Lizard?
Yeah. So I just kind of took it from there, and then one of my favorite producers, he spells his DJ name Nightmare, but he leaves out the A. So that's how I got mine.
Mine is kind of interesting. So this is my 4th time DJ name. Originally, I used to go, my mentor, he used to joke with me and call me Obi-Wan because he said I had that Zen like Obi-Wan from Star Wars.
You're the only hope?
Yes, I am the only hope. And then one day he changed it and he was like B1 Dreddy, still referring to Obi-Wan, but B1 Dreddy. So then I went by that for a while. And I wanted to change it to just B1, but there was already a DJ with that. And one day I was trying to figure out a new DJ name, and I was talking with one of my good friends that know me very well. And he's like, Bree, so let's do Tech Romancer, because you love tech, and plus it's nerdy, you love fighting games, and plus people won't quite get it. So let's change the CH to a K and you're good. And I've been going with that ever since.
Nice. So tell us more about how keeping up with not only the music of the times, like the current music, but keeping up on equipment plays a big role in what you do. Because I know sometimes the music might be hot, but if you don't got the right equipment, you can't really protrude that.
Well, right now, it's an interesting time for equipment because you've got a couple of people kind of splitting off and doing different things. Like, Serato is splitting off from Pioneer. Pioneer's trying to do their own thing. Serato is now starting to back Denon. And with that happening, Pioneer's starting to go really high end. Their newest model is about $6,000. Denon, they're pairing with Serato, and they're making a similar console for about $1,500.
Okay.
But those are standalone systems where you don't have to need a computer or anything like that.
It's kind of weird because couple of years ago, everybody was like, "Hey, doesn't matter what you use, long as you had the love for the music and stuff like that, you can use whatever." But now, recently, everybody's going back to this whole standalone thing. Only use CDJs, only use vinyl, only use basically standalone controllers that you can plug in USBs. They're like anti-laptop right now. And a part of me kind of gets it because they feel like a true DJ knows like limited tracks and can rock the crowd well. But at the same time, I feel like you're cutting off like new people that are trying to have this accessible, because controllers are very accessible, and that's how I got started. I got started with accessibility, and then I happened to meet my mentor that taught me how to DJ on vinyl and CDJs and stuff like that. So I can spin and mix on anything, but the controller is what got me started. So sometimes I worry about the DJ community and stuff because we're starting to get kind of elitist again and be like, no, CDJs are else. And I get it. CDJs is the club standard. You go into a club, they're going to have CDJs, so you should know how to use them.
What a lot of people don't know about this too is when you go into a club, especially some of the bigger ones, say down in Charlotte, like like Label, or if you go down to some of the bigger ones down in Charlotte, they already have setups and they already have everything you need. You just need to bring in your laptop or your flash drive, and it saves a lot of wear and tear on your own equipment, which is great.
Is it possible to really DJ on a budget? And how is it compared to like the actual equipment? Because nowadays you got all these pocket DJs, just bust out an iPhone, put a little beat on there, a little voice recorder. Like, how is that doing it that way compared to having the actual like equipment and the setup?
You can do it with like iPhones and stuff like that. That's more, they're trying to get more in production when they do their own beats and stuff. But for real DJing, iPhone and Androids doesn't really cut it. If you want to get on a budget, there's some basic entry controllers for about $150, $200, and then they'll give you the software with that as well. And then from then you just got to get your tracks, and so about $200 is what you're looking at. I mean, if you want to start going out and playing gigs, it's recommended you do have your own speakers, you do have your own mixers, and that kind of ups the price. But for just trying to get in and just doing it in your bedroom or somebody's party, $150, $200, and you're good.
I will also say that it's an interesting time for, especially for DJing and DJing technology, because like you said, about 100 to 200. That can get you like a basic system that's set up and says DJ if you want to learn the actual how to crossfade and mix. But there's a lot of people right now that are just laptop DJs, and they have the little templates on their laptop.
It's like a little like program.
Yeah, and they just learn how to crossfade that way. It's not the exact same thing, but they are learning. I went to a venue this past weekend, and there was a guy there. He was a hip hop DJ, and I was actually surprised. He played one song that I was just like, I'm surprised you know about that song. I gotta give you that for that. But it was the Donald Trump song. That's all I could say. But anyways. But yeah, and he was just doing it off his laptop. Now, of course, more refined DJs like us will kind of look at it and be like, "Come on, man, you need to up the game a little bit." But you can get started just off of your laptop if you really wanted to. I was just BPM just happened just recently. It's like the big show where they show all the new DJ technology. Yeah. They was just showing a new tablet rig that people can do off of tablets, and just DJs off of tablets. It's crazy what the technology is right now.
So for someone interested in starting out, or maybe wants to start out, would you suggest dropping the 150 to 200 and get a basic rig set up, or actually attempt it on like an iPhone or a tablet first?
I'm going to go old school, and I'm just going to say get yourself, some sort of like actual physical rig, whether it be a controller or maybe like a DDS system, something like that. DDS is going to cost you more, but go ahead and get the physical copy, because it's going to teach you the basics and the feels versus just like pressing buttons.
I'm into controllerism, so yes, I use the crossfade and stuff like that, and I did learn traditional like scratching and all that. But I love like blending stuff from like button hits and like killer effects and stuff. So I would say it's depending on what you're going for. If you just want to be a bedroom DJ and once in a blue moon do a party for your friend, get you an iPad.
YouTube DJ.
Well,
that's not DJ.
Tractor. Well, that's what I use. I use Tractor. I'm a Tractor DJ. And Tractor has this thing where you can get like the little plug for like your iPad and hook up a little mixer. Only costs you $200 if you already got an iPad lying around, or Android, because there's Cross DJ for Android, and you can hook up like a little digital mixer and you're good to go. Cheap, easy, is affordable. If you're like a producer and you also want to DJ, I would definitely say no. You want to go to higher end, either a DVS system, standalone, or a controller that's about around the 200 to 300 range. Something that's gonna help you show off the music that you produce.
Yeah. So going from the equipment to the venues you use the equipment in, what are some not as obvious differences between doing, say, a small set in a big venue, or a big venue in a small town, or a small event in a bigger city? So, like, say a smaller town like where we are, but you book like the biggest place, but you can go, say, to Charlotte, and you're like some small little nightclub. What are the big differences?
One of the big differences is, like I said, if you go into Charlotte, Atlanta, something like that, 90%, even the smaller clubs, will still have some kind of setup already there waiting for you. Versus, say, some of the bigger, like, say, Legends here, they don't really have a home DJ controller setup, so you'd have to bring your own. And from a musician's part of the standpoint, if I was going to go play Legends, I'd have to charge them more, because if I'm coming from California, I've got to put everything in flight cases. I've got to pay all the shipping and everything that from getting from California to here, so it's going to cost them more. Versus, say, like a small club in Charlotte, I can just bring my laptop and then just throw it in my book bag and I'm good. Also, you get into song selection, because if you get into a smaller town and your crowd is not quite into what you're doing, then you have to sit and switch up and change your sound venue, and on the fly it can be tough.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I remember, like 3 years ago, I went to go see some of my friends in Raleigh, and they was DJing at a nightclub there, and they was like, "Oh, hey, you're back in town. Come and do a guest set." I'm like, on the fly? They're like, "Yeah." And it's weird. In Raleigh, I can play pretty much anything and the crowd will be okay with it. But if I'm here and I'm starting a set and people don't know the music quite yet, I kind of got to play like maybe like some familiarity, maybe like some pop remixes, some top 40 remixes. Then I can start easing in like unknown underground tracks, and people are like, "Oh, this is hot." But it's different from place to place, and I will say that it's different from market to market, because there's been time here where I went to one place and it was like, "Hey, play whatever you want," whereas I go to a different venue right here and it's like, "No, you gotta ease in with the familiarity first, and then you can start dropping those bangers and underground tracks."
Kind of interlace or intermingle. Like, you'll put a couple songs they know, a couple that they don't know, then kind of stripe it or every other. So speaking of the crowds, actually, how does knowing what kind of crowd ahead of time to play a role in how you make your set list or even the energy you'll provide for a show?
What a lot of people don't understand is some of the top 40 stuff. Like, let's say Taylor Swift. In order for me to play Shake It Off, I'd have to pay Taylor Swift and I think Sony up to $2 or $3 grand per night just to play that song out. And if I get paid, I have to pay for that. So I have to kind of know what I'm getting into to be able to set my price for the club, and also be able to download it and procure the rights for that night. So it helps out with the prep work, really, and knowing what I'm going into, knowing what I need to bring as far as like music selections.
For me, it's kind of weird. A lot of times, it depends on the venue. A lot of times, I'll go to a venue, and if I know the venue very well, I will do it on the fly. I'll still do prep work. Like, I'll have like a list that will say, these are songs that I want to play. These are popular songs. These are songs that I should play for the night. I'll do like multiple lists and have that. But for certain venues, I'll just do it on the fly. Now, there's other venues, if the person that hired me said, hey, this is the type night that you're going to have, then I'll do a set list then. But a lot of times, I'll just create these multiple lists so I can make an interesting night and stuff like that.
So in your all's personal opinions when it comes to these crowds, what are some things you wish people who come to see your set would know or do that they wouldn't know or think about ahead of time?
Real DJs, if they have turntables and stuff, we don't really take requests all that well, simply because it's a pain technologically to do. Generally, we don't have a aux cord hooked up to our machines.
So no fire?
Yeah, so no fire. You know, it tends to be a pain technologically because I'd have to stop everything that I'm doing to download one song that I may or may not be able to download. And yeah, if it's a true DJ, then we don't really do requests.
That's why I'm glad we work as a duo, because it is a pain. I used to do this by myself, and when you're doing it by yourself, and especially like if you're on peak time is kind of like the height of your DJ set, and someone comes up to you and is like, hey, can you play this? And if you don't have it, you're like trying to keep the energy of the dance floor, but also trying to find this request that this person wants, and it's can be difficult sometimes, especially when I'm all right. Some people think I'm weird, but I'm one of those advocates of when I DJ, I do not like having the internet on. I cut it off. That way I don't have like no issues within the set and stuff like that. And when somebody does that, as soon as I hit the internet, I got Facebook going off and blah, 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 and it might freeze up my system. So a lot of times I do not like doing that. Now, granted, what I like to do, I haven't done it lately, but what I like to do is I like to have a little book, and I'll tell people, hey, write it down. So that way, the next time I'm playing out, I might have that song and stuff like that, so I can play it for people later.
How much of like a hassle would it be? Because I've seen it, like one or two other DJs, they'll just do it off of YouTube, or they'll just take requests the whole time. But how is it if you have like a set list? Would it be? Or how much of a hassle would it be to incorporate maybe popping up YouTube and throwing in a song real quick?
I'd have to shut everything down pretty much. Like, I'd have to shut off my controller and shut off whatever other sound system that I'm doing and get internet if they have internet, because not every venue has internet. I can name at least 2 or 3 here in Boone that do not have internet, and that's fine. That's their choice. But for me to do it off of YouTube, I'd have to stop the whole show, and no matter what I do, and then reset everything. And I'm not doing that. I'm sorry.
What he's explaining it, but he's not telling you the whole deal. So a lot of controllers and stuff have their own built-in sound cards, and you also get the program up. So he runs Serato, I run Tractor. So when somebody comes up and is like, hey, can you play this off of YouTube? If the venue has Wi-Fi, okay, but my sound card is routed through the board. So, like he said, you have to shut down the board and everything so you can reroute the sound through your laptop versus the sound card of your controller, and it's kind of annoying.
So the quality kind of drops.
Yeah, and if they want to hear a 3-minute song, it takes us about 10 minutes to shut everything down and reboot everything.
Yeah.
And it's not worth it.
Respect your DJs, people. So y'all been doing this for a while. Where do y'all see yourself as DJs in around 5 years? Where do you see yourself playing? Where do you think you'll be?
Personally, I would like to see me playing Ultra Miami in a couple of years. Imagine EDC, something like that, getting on the bigger stage. Ideally is what I'd like to do. Probably get out of America, because America's not a big EDM scene, and, that's fine.
For me, I always wanted to play Ibiza, so I want to go to Spain and play Ibiza. But produce more Oh my God. I actually had some friends before they left to LA, and now they're trying to get me to go to LA. They're like, Bree, start your own label. I'm like, I don't think I'm ready to start my own label yet. No, I'm not at that level yet. But at the same time, I'm having people constantly contacting me and like, hey, I've heard about you. You got a cool radio show. Here's some of my tracks, and I'm willing to give you ID exclusives. Mm-hmm. So in a weird way, I'm starting to slowly get to that point, but I'm not there yet. So...
sorry, a little bit of lingo. ID is in development, so it's tracks that are maybe not completely finished, or they haven't got the okay through the label to be able to green light to play out in some settings. So it'd be songs that you would never hear anywhere else, and we both get them all the time from different producers.
It's weird because for me, I started as a producer, and so there's this thing in the DJ world that you're normally either just a DJ and producer, or just a producer, and you kind of splice your stuff together. So I was told I started as a producer, and everybody at the time was like, no, DJ. Learn how to DJ first, then go back and learn how to. So I spent years learning how to perfect techniques, and there's still some techniques that I feel like I don't have mastered. But I spent years learning how to DJ, and now I see people like Luke and them, like Bad Catholics, like going and they produce, and I'm like, see, that should have been me, but that's okay. Now I'm getting there. I'm going back to that route, so it should be fine. And maybe that will be it in a couple of years too, producing and DJing and having my own label or something like that.
You just got to go through the paces, pay the dues, take the proper steps. Don't try to jump ahead.
Right.
So do y'all have any gigs or anything coming up y'all like to promote?
Not really. I don't have anything. There's some things that are in the works possibly for Boone with us and Praxis and Trashy Trish is around. Cryo Spears around as well. So there's some stuff working there, but as far as I don't really see anything producing, putting more podcast out.
I am doing the show here tonight, later on tonight at 11, Baseline. Used to be called In The Mix, it's now called Baseline. So doing that, him and I have been tossing around maybe, like a monthly podcast or a weekly? Mm-hmm. We've been tossing around an idea for a podcast called Backyard Bounce, where we're still getting some things into works with that, but we'll probably be doing that as well. Other than that, it's us taking it one day at a time.
Where can people catch that DJ show you got going on there?
Oh, they can catch it right here on 90.5 WASU, the app.
Thursdays at 11 p.m., guys. Come on, tune in. Listen to us go crazy for a while.
Remember, we're also an iHeart radio station, so no excuses. You can listen to it anywhere.
We also got that app going on. You can get app on the app. Any closing thoughts or statements y'all like to say or tell to the people?
You can follow me on Facebook or Mixcloud at Mara the Band was one of my original names.
How do you spell that out?
MARTYR the Band, BAND.
I'm DJ Tech Romancer. I'm on Facebook. It's TEK Romancer. It's with a K, not with a CH. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Tumblr. I'm thinking about making an official Snapchat, but that's pending because
get you in trouble, bro.
Get that Instagram going first.
Well, no, I do have an Instagram.
Oh, you do?
I do have an Instagram. It's just that I prefer Snapchat. I'm just being truthful.
Quick little 10-second spots out.
Well, us DJs, we have short attention spans, so that works.
Shiny. Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.
And we'll be right back on the Mystery Box Podcast. Welcome back to the Mystery Box Podcast, guys. So, quick editor's note. I think I'm going to go ahead and make this a bi-monthly, twice every other week, whatever that's called. I always get them confused. Just with the student schedule that I have going on right now, it's going to be hard to do these once a week. So I'm going to shoot for every other week. So hopefully I can bring you more quality content instead of just rush content just for the sake of getting it out. So with that said, thank you for listening, guys, and I will see you in the next episode.